All right, the next step in the Leading Age, and I must tell you that I'm happy to report that on September the 9th, 2015, I signed the affiliation agreement with Leading Age after review by Bennett Napier and acting on direction from the board. So attached for your review, I hope you have it, is a draft letter that I proposed that NACRA's president and that I would send to Larry Minix of Leading Age to start the process of giving substance to our affiliation. And I have to just tell you that I did, when I talked with, or I wrote to Larry Minix and said that I had signed, he knew I had signed the agreement, and I was very anxious for everything to come to culmination so we could really get on with it. And so I got a very fine letter from him indicating that there is indeed a new director of Leading Age just come into office at the end of this calendar year, and that this lady, whose name is Katie Slow, will be working with the president of NACRA to refine or to not recalculate, but to just put better substance to the agreement. And so that is pending, but he was most cordial, and he said that he knew that whoever is president will work very well with Katie, and so we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, I've had an afterthought. I'm not an attorney, so I'm great. If there's any attorneys in the room, and there just might be one, but I believe this, the Leading Age, after much discussion with us, redrafted the affiliation agreement and offered it to us, and you accepted it.
Yes, it did.
So I believe that's offer and acceptance, and the consideration is the meeting and our attendance here. So I think there's offer, acceptance, meeting of the minds, and agreement. So I think there's a valid agreement. We may subsequently modify it or refine the terms by mutual agreement, which you can do with any contract. But I believe as of September 9th, there was an existing contract. But that's over legalizing it, I think. So
is your question whether or not Leading Age could somehow back away from it after?
No, they will not.
Is that what your question was?
Yeah, that's
I can't imagine that
It's my understanding that the Leading Age Board of Directors has approved the agreement in principle, and their only real concern was they wanted it to be signed for Leading Age by the new president.
what is accepted in principle?
Pardon?
Did they accept that the offer was made to us?
Yeah, it is.
No,
Because they made us an offer.
the
We've never
words that were given
accepted
to
the offer.
me were accepted in principle.
No, but a contract takes place when an offer is accepted.
Yep.
Yeah,
So-
but he's taking the position, he's making the point that you can accept in principle without having signed a contract, and you still have a binding effect.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think that was the indication, and Larry did say, and he will be here tomorrow to say hey to everybody, that and also Stephen Magg will be here, and I hope Katie will be here as well, because she wrote a very, very lovely note after I wrote her on behalf of our group to congratulate her and tell her how much we were looking
Yeah,
forward
but I'm
to.
responding to Helmut's point. I think we've got the agreements there.
Because it was an offer that was accepted.
It was, exactly.
So we're just looking forward to having this all.
The one thing I would add is that we send a copy to Katie as the new CEO.
Which she does have a copy now.
But I mean,
Of the letter.
of this letter, that we send a copy of this letter to Larry, to Katie.
Yeah, we should get that too.
Well,
Is that
no,
what's in my letter?
No,
No,
this
this is a
this is
proposal.
the one the board's going to approve
Oh,
now.
all right. Sorry. Okay, so all things being equal, we're home free. And so,
Well, does the board need to approve the letter?
I think so.
Why don't we do that?
Why don't we do that? President shall be approved. Now, so did you all in the supporting document get that? And that would be
Supporting document, yeah.
F, supporting document F. I hope you have it. If you've had a chance to look at it,
You want me to read it?
please.
Okay. Dear Larry, and I guess now it would be, would you want to jointly address or just copy?
I think just copy now.
Okay, dear Larry, copy that to Captain Katie Smith Sloan. I always want to mix up those names, two lots of names in a row, it's too much. Anyway, dear Larry, NACRA is excited to be working with Leading Age at our October 31 board meeting in conjunction with the Leading Age Boston Conference. Our board considered initial steps that we propose to advance our relationship and to ensure forward progress on our mutual interest in improving the lives of older Americans, including CCRC residents. Here are some action steps that we propose for your consideration. 1, we each appoint a primary liaison person to ensure effective communication, because all we've got now is an agreement. We've got to have conversation. We're prepared to appoint Jack Cumming as the liaison. We anticipate that you may name Steve Mott or his successor after his retirement, though that is, of course, up to you. Our understanding is, by the way, that he's going to retire as of the end of the year.
Is he?
Steve Mott. So it will probably be a successor. We would like to suggest that formation of a joint task force with equal number of resident provider representatives as in Florida to identify matters of mutual concern and to begin the search for common ground. This is something that Walt Hoyer put forward. We would like to work with Leading Age and its provider members to encourage resident membership in resident organizations to give the industry the benefit of the resident voice to remain attractive for the future. The matters that we now perceive as of concern to residents include the following. And we may have to rethink this in light of our voting. Let's see how this plays out. This was written before we knew how people voted on the survey. 1 was standards for nonprofit financial soundness. 2, advocacy for sound, sustainable social insurance programs. 3, contracts in clear, understandable language, balancing provider needs with resident commitments. Strengthening bases for elder care tax exemption. That goes to the revenue ruling thing. And respect for residents as contributing members of the communities in which they reside. We look forward to working with you, your successor in office, so I want to change that now. With you, Katie, because now we know her name. We didn't when this was drafted. And your provider members to find common ground on these and other matters that may arise from time to time. Thank you, Larry, for your efforts in bringing together this cooperative approach to our nation's elder challenge. We wish you well in your retirement. Look forward to realizing your legacy over the coming years.
I think that's a very good letter.
It is very nice.
Yeah.
And thank you, Jack, that's very well done. And
The one nuance
need a
here
motion, huh?
was the strength, this question, strengthening the basis for elder care tax exemption. We're hoping this would slide up back, because if we changing revenue, they're very sensitive about revenue ruling 72-124. If they ever lost that, their industry collapses. And so what we want to do is add to that. That has 3 planks in it now. We want to add a 4th plank, which would be the residents be members. In these, most of the CCRC nonprofit organizations have no members. That means the executives exercise all ownership authority with the board.
So members on their boards of governance?
What?
No, no.
Membership on the
No,
board of
they
governance?
would be members.
Oh, members
Like
on
at
the.
Terwilliger Plaza. Terwilliger Plaza, in Portland, the members, the residents are the members.
Who's there?
You know, I would like to say that there remain people in that group
Yeah.
who do not like the idea of our relationship that we're trying to establish with Leading Age. And I think we need to keep that in mind as we deliberate. But I want to emphasize my personal opinion. It's been specified, I think, by Bob and Jack and Bennett, that Leading Age is gaining a lot from this, and that they're gonna get 40,000, they're gonna be able to claim 40,000 residents behind them. I think there's a great potential over the long term. It's even greater for NACRA. I believe that as we go on, it's not going to happen overnight, but as we start discussing things with them, all these issues that Jack has brought up, we're going to be able to influence their thinking. And we're going to change their minds on some areas, and we're going to come to an agreement that is not their position today. That's one thing. The second thing is that I think through the auspices of this agreement, we're going to find that gradually over time, the attitude of managers and CCRCs and of CEOs of the leading age state organizations is going to be much more friendly to us than to the state organizations. I think that's going to be a gradual change. It may take several years, but I do believe it has the potential to happen. The third point is that there are roughly, maybe a little less, but roughly 200,000 individuals living in CCRCs today. It's the number I've been given. If we were able to get 40 or 50% of those as our members, and I think we can use Leading Age as a mechanism to try to be able to contact those and market our services to them, that at that point, the number that Leading Age will be able to use is not 40,000, but 80,000 or 100,000, and that's even much more powerful. I am very much in favor of this. I know there are a number of people in our organization that are opposed to it. I think we need to be aware of that as we operate, but I believe very, very strongly this is a major, major positive advance for NACRA.
Thank you. Yes.
I'm not on the board. I have one question of clarification. The September 9th draft that I saw some time ago provided for reciprocal membership on the boards of directors, but I spoke with Bennett earlier and read the article in Lifeline that seemed to imply that it's no longer that. Could you please clarify
I
that?
cannot, because I don't know.
One thing, our bylaws do not provide that they could just appoint somebody to our board. So they could, because the agreement also says that it will not conflict with the bylaws. So the bylaws govern over the.
So we have a kind of a contradictory situation at
But
the moment.
it also says may as opposed to will.
So let me,
And may is interpreted as an option, not as who controls the option.
let me, as Mr. Cumming pointed out,
Please. We're trying to hear.
the NACRA bylaws don't allow that appointment. So in our conversations with Leading Age, they understand that. So the way to establish that communication, that liaison, if you will, is all they are. They're a liaison.
Thank you, and one more point. That, to me, is the whole fulcrum on which my attitude changes. Everything you've said, everything everybody has said, I'm fully supportive of. I am not particularly supportive of reciprocal board memberships. So it's a very important point to my mind, and I think to many people in my organization. I would like to go back and say, we've done a great thing. And it sounds like as long as we don't change our bylaws in the wrong way, we have done a great thing. Thank you.
Great, yeah, and it never did say you will.
I wondered what may implies someone has a power to do it at their option. The question is who, them or us?
Negotiable. And so that's.
But Leading Age may implies if Leading Age chooses or if we choose. And so again, no need to get into that. If we intend not to have that reciprocal membership, that's news I can bring back.
Exactly.
That's why I asked.
As they say, exactly. Yes, that is so.
Thank you.
Okay, here we are. I've lost it. I'm at 80,000 feet and I've lost my guide. Anyway, I guess we need a report from
Well, no, let's do the letter. Are we finished with
the
the letter?
letter.
Can we ask Jack to revise the letter to put in Katie?
Yes.
And to revise the areas of concern that are a little tidied up in light of the,
Yes.
and then we'll do it. And be sure a copy goes to Katie.
Now,
We need to vote on it?
the letter,
Madam Chair, I mean, the letter is a technical change, but you're changing the people, but you do have the motion for the board to ratify.
Well, there's a motion. I don't think you need a motion on the letter was presented to let the
After
board
the
have
fact.
input. And I sense a consensus to send a letter along those lines.
now there is,
Then the motion is accepted.
yeah, there is a motion in that, included in the fact that we named Bob Jack Cumming as the liaison with Leading Age, and I need to have that ratified, so,
I'll move it.
okay, the
Second.
board approves the appointment of Jack Cumming of California to serve on a committee of one and liaison with Leading Age. The appointment will take place immediately, and the letter indicates that. And you seconded it?
Yes.
And so all in favor? I'm not even. Aye. Opposed? Congratulations, Jack. Liaison.
For those who aren't familiar, the reason why it's a committee of one is because the bylaws only provide for the creation of a committee, but it says that it can be a committee of one.
It's
So we
okay.
have to, so that's,